We look at our success or outcomes as being controlled by others. And so we say things like, what if no one buys? What if I try so hard and it doesn't work out? And subconsciously, what you're actually saying is, other people, other things have control of the outcome. Hello. I have something that I want to talk to you today about, and I am just going to get straight into it. And that is that I do not believe in failure. And here's why. I'm going to break it down for you and create some real shifts in how we can take action, how we can move past those fears of failure, and how it's actually setting us up for success. So the first thing we need to understand is that when you understand you are in control of your own life, everything changes. But so often we look at our success or our outcomes as being controlled by others or the situation. And so we say things like, what if no one buys? What if I try so hard and it doesn't work out? And subconsciously, what you're actually saying is, other people, other things have control of the outcome. But what if we switched that and said, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make damn sure this is a success. Or I'm going to choose to do something differently. But the first step is understanding that you, only you, are the one in control of your outcomes, of your success, and of your life. So you already have the ability to choose what path you take. And it may not always be the easy way. It may not be a walk in the park every single time, but it is a choice that you are making. So even if we look at it through the lens of business, if we look at things and they're not going necessarily the way we had hoped, maybe not making as much money as we'd set out to, maybe not getting as many customers or clients coming through, and that's oftentimes what we hinge failure or success on, right? It could even be that you've built this business and it's become a whole monster that is just eating you up every single day and chucking you out, right? And it just feels really, really hard. But you have two choices. When things aren't necessarily going the way that you had hoped, you can either, number one, dig deeper, to persevere, to face the challenges and chase the dream, chase the goal, no matter what it takes. Or you have option two, which is to retreat back and sit in that safety and comfort, to maybe let go of that initial goal and go and do something else or have something else. Now, you might be thinking that number two sounds like a failure. And that is what we have been taught and told to believe as a society, as a whole, right? If you retreat back, if you give up, it's a failure. But neither option is actually wrong. Neither option is actually right. And neither option makes you a failure. So I'm going to say that again. Neither pushing forward and wanting to make something happen or retreating back to safety and comfort, neither of them are wrong or right. Because it comes down to what you personally value. And that is underlying everything we do is our values. If your highest value is actually safety and comfort, then option number two is actually success to you. But for me, my biggest values are always been growth and adventure and challenging the status quo. And so for me, I will often always choose number one. It may not mean I always end up in exactly the place that I wanted, or it doesn't look exactly the same, but I will not give up. I will persevere. I will make that shit happen. But there are also times throughout my journey, throughout my career, where I have chosen number two. And that doesn't mean anything. Oftentimes, failure is literally the meaning that you apply to situations. The situation in itself is you made a choice. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean success. It doesn't mean failure. But you've applied that meaning to it. So I wanted to shift that belief around success and failure. So over my journey, you've probably heard I have run 5+ businesses, and I say 5+ because there were like side hustles to the side hustle, and there was a lot going on. But I've started 5 different businesses. Now, people who don't know all of the details, I've had people say to me, oh, they must have all been failures then, because why aren't you still doing them? And that's okay. That's their own journey. That's their own lens. But I've had 5 different businesses over the past years, and all of them on paper were hugely successful. I had global warehouses, even my events and photo shoot venue. It was booked out from basically week 1, with people booking it out all of the time, making profits, making money from basically everything I did. I could create success. I'd done it once, I did it 5 times, I can do it again and again and again. But what I learned through this journey is what success means to me, is what my values are at my core. And at first, when I thought that success to me means doing all of the things, doing all of them at once, burning out just in the pursuit of feeling successful on paper, of bringing in that money. And while that was great, what success means to me and the real core of my values is, yes, being challenged, having growth, having adventure. But that also looks like flexibility. That also looks like having freedom and no stress. And so for me, the biggest decision came around my events and photo shoot venue. I was having to go there every day because people wanted to come and see the venue. I had my office upstairs, and on paper, that's what people told you had to do to be successful, right? Next step is you get an office, because if you work from home, and this was pre-COVID, so it was still the thing. Now, things have changed pretty quickly, but it was the thing. It was like, cool, I'll get an office. But what I hated was the rigidity of it, having to go every day, drive there. Like, why do I need to drive anywhere? I'm so comfy at home, and being at home gives me the flexibility. If I want to have a bath at 3 p.m. like I did yesterday, I can. Today, I've literally just gotten out of the shower and it is 11 a.m. and that is cool too. And having that freedom and flexibility to work with my energy, with what I feel I want to do, is so key for me. And so this events and photo shoot venue, it was being booked out, it was bringing in money, it was easy. It didn't take much effort for me to create this successful business, and it was ticking along nicely. But what it was causing me was stress. What it was causing me was anxiety. What it was telling me is that this is not my version of success. This is not what I see in my future. This is not where I am going. And so I exited that business. And that was the easiest decision I've ever made. And throughout my entire journey, because I've come at every decision from a place of what is going to serve me best, and I don't apply meaning to it. Because there are plenty of people out there who may look at that situation and say, cool, Jess, you did that for 1.5 years and that was it. Like, must have been a failure. But to me, I still see it as a huge success because I learned so much about myself. I gained so much experience in a new business model, which was fueling my value around growth and adventure and trying new things. And I got redirected to where I'm meant to be now. And so while everyone is out there being so afraid of failure and trying to avoid it at all costs, all it comes down to is a matter of perspective. Because if our goals or our business are misaligned with what we value, all it needs is a redirection. All it needs is a choice to redirect where you need to be. So I want to leave you with something tangible to take away. Hopefully this has really shifted your perspective around what failure and success get to look like and how you get to move fast through your business, which was one of my previous episodes, if you haven't listened to it, on how I make decisions fast. But it all is so intertwined, so definitely go and listen to that. But this is the reason why I always teach values. I teach values as one of the principal foundations inside of Business for Life. And that is just one of like 20 to 40 different lessons inside of Business for Life. But this is one of the things that I believe we all need to start with. And it's not surface level, what do I think I value? The exercises and the way that I teach it goes so much deeper than that to help you unearth what's even in your subconscious around what values you have formed throughout your life, throughout your experiences. And I help you really unearth those deepest values that help you then set goals that are aligned. Because if your goals don't align with your values, then your subconscious mind sees your goals as a threat, sees your business as a threat, because it says, okay, if my biggest value is safety and comfort, and every time I step into my business, I feel unsafe and uncomfortable, then your mind is going to say, this is unsafe for us. This is a threat to what we value. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, chances are safety and comfort are probably not your highest values. Maybe they are, and that's cool. But often, if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably pretty risk averse, someone who wants to go and take things and really are ready to grow at every point. But I had a client in the past, her biggest value was family. And she was holding on to a belief around, as my business grows, I have to then sacrifice more time with my family. And how that starts to show up for us, self-sabotage. Because then your mind says, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to eliminate this threat. I'm going to do everything I can to uphold our values and what we really care about. But your conscious mind is like, hell no, of course I want to succeed. Of course I need this business to do well. Your conscious mind says, right, the problem's not the business, because I don't want to believe that. The problem is procrastination. Got it? It's procrastination. Your conscious mind is like, we really need to solve this overwhelm or this self-sabotage. But that is not what your subconscious is saying. And sometimes it's hard to put words to that, hard to put actions to that. But that is why I'm here bringing that to your conscious mind today. So you see the problem, right? If we just keep pushing harder and our goals and our business are not aligned to our values, then we're going to keep coming up against this fear of failure or this feeling of dis-ease. And so if you really want to start building a business, actually having more success, removing some of those limiting deeper beliefs, then we need to actually start with, what are your values? Because what you consciously think are your values and what you subconsciously are holding on to sometimes can be different things if you haven't done the deeper work around this to really unearth them. And so this is how we get to start to call in more success than ever. We get to bust through those fears of failure. We get to take more action in such a aligned way, and we get to build a business that feels really, really good. So if you are wanting to really do this deep inner work, but also have the strategies and the tools and the resources and the support to help you get there, then I would love to invite you in to join us inside of Business for Life. We are starting very, very soon, so make sure you jump on in. The links will be in the show notes. Otherwise, send me a DM, because the next time I run this, and that is assuming there is a next time, because I'm moving so fast in my business, I cannot promise there will be. But next time I run this, if I do, it is going to be more than 2 times the price. The price of this is insane for the value that you're getting, the access to me, the one-on-one support, the group coaching, all of the things. And guess what? Values is like probably, I would say, less than 2% of all of the value that you get in there. But if you've just listened to this podcast today, if the penny has dropped for you, then you understand how valuable that 2% is. And imagine at 100% what you will really get out of this program. So I would love to see you inside. I would love to hear from you. Like, even if this has just dropped something in for you, and come and send me a DM. But until next time, I will see you on the next episode.